Hi everyone, so this is Sunday morning and the first day of this reading vlog that I'm really excited to start. I haven't done one of these in a while, so this is going to be fun. But I woke up earlier than I normally do this morning because I had church at 9:30 and then I watched some Hulu while eating breakfast, and I've just been kind of doing that all morning. But now I'm reading. I'm currently reading The 11th Plague by Geoff Hurst, and I'm annotating it as I go through. I just got these new tabs that were recommended to me by Ray Reads. And so this has been going great. I'm reading this for my senior thesis, and so I've been going through and tabbing some things so that when I go back and do my thesis, it's easier to find the parts that I want to talk about. So that's gonna help a lot. I'm probably gonna have to go back and do that with some of my books. We'll see. But I'm also currently reading Anna Karenina, very heavy, by Leo Tolstoy. I'm reading this for Classics with Wildflower and loving it. I'm kind of behind. We're supposed to have finished part 2 today, and I'm only halfway through part 2, so I'm kind of behind. But that's okay. It's still better than last week, because last week I hadn't even started. So I'm doing better, but I'm still kind of behind. I have all these tabs in here so that I can know how much I'm supposed to be reading, but it's been really fun. I'm not going overboard with the analysis or anything. I'm just enjoying it. So that's what I'm reading right now, and I'll keep you updated. So I'm going to interrupt the reading, like I've been reading today, but I just need to talk about some stuff. So I have been trying to educate myself more through the Black Lives Matter movement just in these recent weeks, as we all should be doing right now, because I don't think I've ever been more aware of how my white privilege has given me these opportunities in life as I am right now. And it's sickening, how I don't know, I'm not great with words off the cuff, and I think that's part of why I haven't been inclined to speak, but that shouldn't be an excuse for me. I should be taking this time to talk about how unfair this system is, because how I look should not give me any advantage in life. But that's what happens, and that's so terrible on so many different levels. One way that I've been confronted with all of this is through churches and religious organizations, and all just seeing all of these churches. Some of them, I think the church should definitely be taking more of a step in this movement. I mean, with MLK, the church was leading the protests. The church was doing more, and I don't think the church is necessarily doing that right now. But there have been a lot of good statements out that have at least educated people in the church, I hope. And there have been all these, reminding us of verses that God sees us all as equal, and that God created every one of us, and no one gets a unique shot at a relationship with God. No one gets a unique shot at eternity because of what they look like, because God loves us all equally, and He created us all equally. And so many women fight for equality for men and women under Christ, but we also need to be fighting for equality in race, because it's not okay. And we can't just sit back and say, well, God loves us all equally. No, of course God loves us all equally, but the world is not fair, and we should be fighting for more equality in the world that we live in now, and the church should be doing more at this time. But right now I'm on BookTube, and even though I love to talk about my faith, and I'm always here to talk about it, I'm trying to think of more practical things that I can do. I just signed some petitions this morning. Better late than never, but this, I think I had a really not satirical, like, I'm losing the words, but I had a really negative view of petitions, because I'm like, the petitions, they're not going to do anything, and, like, it's only, like, I don't know, I just didn't think they'd do anything, and then we have been able to see the power of petitions lately, and the power of people speaking up, so thankfully, other people have educated me on this, and I was wrong, and so I started signing some petitions this morning, and the whole Breonna Taylor thing is really upsetting, because, like, how do you name a law after someone admit that you're wrong and then don't do anything about the police officers that killed her for no reason at all? Like, that blows my mind. That is truly terrible and despicable, and, like, that shouldn't happen. So that's something that's really stuck with me. Also, I recently learned about another case. I had to stop for a second to remember his name, which is terrible. I should know his name. But Robert Fuller, who was found hanging from a tree. Like, are we really going there? Are we really going there? Like, I have been so blind to the racial violence in America. I thought things like that ended so long ago, and that has not happened. That has not happened. Like, these horrible lynchings are still happening, and we say that we've improved, and yeah, I mean, we've improved on some level, I guess, but I feel like the racism has just gone underground, and we don't acknowledge it, and, like, it's there, but, like, we just don't talk about that. Like, we're doing better, but no, like, are we really doing better right now? Are we really doing better if we still have black men hanging from trees as a victim of racial violence? I don't know that we're necessarily doing all that better. So, I don't know. I've been just thinking about a lot of this morning, because it's really, really frustrating that we still live in this world, and I don't know. So, I'm trying to do more, and I should have been doing more a long time ago, but I've been trying to research more and learn more about these cases. I went through my books to see how many authors of color, just in general, that I've read. And, like, I've read some, but most of them I had to read for school, or they're just not by black authors. Like, I've read books by Asian authors, and, like, that's another group of people that we need to support, because most of the publishing industry is white. But I've become more aware that I just haven't read very many black authors of my own will. And so I've been trying to do more about that, and not only reading the books, but also, like, spending my money on those books, and so that, like, that money goes towards those authors, because that's also really important. I'm also trying to support more black content creators. Thankfully, there have been so many people out there who have made resources even more accessible, and I'm so thankful for those people who have been posting on their Instagram stories. Like, I've been trying to do some of that too, but, like, sharing the names and accounts of black booktubers and black bookstagrammers, so that, like, not only are you learning from their experiences, but you're also, like, reading more diversely, and you're supporting another group of people who so often gets ignored by the advertising and the marketing for books. So I'm gonna leave links down below for black booktubers and black Instagrammers, so that you guys can also support them along with me, because no voice should be ignored in this community. And, like, I don't want it just to be white voices speaking up. Like, I just watched my friend Katie over at Titanic Reader. Her video was really powerful, about how white booktubers need to be speaking up more, but also in that we need to be amplifying black voices. So, like, you shouldn't just be listening to a bunch of people like me say, oh, you should read this book about black experiences. Like, we should be listening to black content creators, like, sharing their experiences and sharing books that they think we should read or that they recommend too. Because also, like, we shouldn't just be reading books about racism. We should be just reading about black lives and black people living, because black lives matter, not just racist moments. Like, racism against black people shouldn't exist, and we shouldn't just read about that. Like, I don't want to read just about black deaths. I want to read about black lives, and because that's what matters. So if you have any recommendations too, like, go ahead and leave them down below. The one that I can recommend right now that I read recently is Pride. It's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and it was so good. I listened to it on my drive from Texas to Alabama, and I loved it so much. It was just amazing. But that's one book that I can recommend right now. But yeah, so that was my little ramble in the middle of this reading vlog. I hope you got something out of this. I don't know, that wasn't the most cohesive ramble. Is there such a thing as cohesive ramble? I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Yeah. So I have read the first 110 pages of The 11th Plague. I've had a lot of annotations, and really that's the only reason why I'm reading the book. Like, I'm only reading it for my research, because otherwise this is not an interesting book. Because when I go into these dystopian plague books, I expect them to talk about the plague, and this is just like a apocalyptic story. It's not very interesting at all. Don't like the characters, but I mean, I'm enjoying analyzing it, I guess. I'm not going too deep, I'm just like tabbing it for now. So yeah, you can tell how little there is about the plague by the fact that one of my tabs is for symptoms, the pink tab, and this is the only one. This is the only pink tab. So I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm just trying to fly through it. I'm hoping that I can get at least another 100 pages of it read today, so that I can finish it up tomorrow. I kind of wanted to read 3 books this week, which was like last Monday to tomorrow, Monday. So this would be my 3rd book. I haven't read any of Anna Karenina today, which isn't great, but I've been reading this. I also found out about this really cool thing on BookTube, where people are trying to black out the bestseller lists. So that you can find more information about that at #blackoutbestlist. I think. And so what people are encouraging others to do is to go buy 2 books from a black author, and we're going to try to see if we can get all of the bestseller lists covered with black authors. So I didn't know that was happening today. It's happening from today, which is Sunday, through Saturday, so June 14th through the 20th. And I bought 4 books by black authors today before I found out about this. So I'm like, oh, this works perfectly. So if you want some recommendations, I bought The Bells, A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, Children of Blood and Bone, I think that's what it's called. I'm not great with all of these, and My Sister, the Serial Killer. So those are going to be really interesting. Lots of fantasy in there. I have found out about so many new fantasy books by black authors. It's really cool, and I wanted to buy a lot more, but they were already kind of expensive, so I only could buy 4, but I'm really excited. So I'm kind of tired right now, so I may take a nap, and then I'll get back to reading. Okay, so I am now 178 pages into The 11th Plague, very close. I got the audiobook from my library, so that's helping a little bit too, just because I'm really not into this. But yeah, so I'm getting close, only 100 pages left, And I'm very much looking forward to finishing this because, first of all, I need to read Anna Karenina, and I should really have done some of that today. But I also really want to read Allegedly, because that's one of the books on my shelves that I already owned that's by a Black author. But also, like, I remember starting it, and I think, like, there are just some books that are darker that I read a couple years ago that I just wasn't ready for, but now that I'm older, like, I think I'll enjoy them a lot more, and I really want to read that one. But right now I have to read this. So I'm getting through it. I just finished dinner, and I have church in half an hour, so I'm gonna see how much of this I can get read before youth. So I forgot to update you guys yesterday after church, but I did finish the 11th Plague, thanks to an audiobook and just some speed reading, a little bit of skimming because it wasn't very good. But I finished that, gave it 2 stars, done with that. And then this morning I had to go to work, and I got a little bit of reading done while I was at work, like during lunch and stuff. So I've read like 2 more pages of Anna Karenina. That's what I'm about to start. But I've also read the first chapter of Allegedly, and I'm really interested to keep reading. It's very dark, and it's like, this even happened like the first time I tried to read it. I just don't know how to feel about it. The characters aren't likable. And I don't read very many books where the characters are unlikable. Like, I read anti-heroes, but not unlikable characters. But you know what? Time to break out of the comfort zone and read that. So I just feel like talking about this. So last night I had a dream that I was in the selection series, and like, I feel like that sounds like a fun thing, like dreaming you're in a book. But let me just say, dreaming that you're in the selection series is stressful. I woke up so stressed because I was like, is he gonna propose to me? Like, I really love him. I want him to propose to me. And it was just a mess. So that was what I dreamed about last night. Have you guys ever had any bookish dreams? I've dreamed that I was also in the Hunger Games like multiple times. That was terrifying. But yeah, so I'm about to read some more of Anna Karenina since I'm very behind on this now. But yeah. So I was doing really badly at updating yesterday. Yeah, I ended up having a lot to do yesterday, but I did read like 50 pages of Anna Karenina, which wasn't as much as I needed to read, but it was still a lot. So I'm proud of myself. But also, I like kept reading Allegedly, and I cannot put it down. It is so good. I don't know. Like, I've read up like this part before, because last time I attempted to read it, I made it like a third of the way through, but I still really want to know what happens. So I just ate breakfast and I'm gonna go read. So I just went downstairs to see if my packages were here yet, and they are. So I would normally do an unboxing since I did order some books, and also this is from my mom. But I think I'm gonna do a separate video for the haul for these books, but I have books and I'm excited, so I think I'm gonna need to do a quick reorganization of my bookshelves.
So I am not looking my best right now. This is not the best lighting. I have a massive breakout happening on my face. I don't know, I'm 21. Why is this still happening? But anyway, I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. I just finished Allegedly. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars because there are a lot of things I really loved about it, but there are also some things that just really confused me, and I think the ending was just really jarring, and yeah, it just took it in a completely different direction than the rest of the book. And I get maybe the author was trying to do something, but I didn't love that, so I don't know. But overall, it was really, really good. So 4.5 out of 5 stars. I haven't read any of Anna Karenina today, but I have a little bit of a migraine, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But starting tomorrow, I'm either gonna pick up A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, or I'm gonna read Children of Blood and Bone. I'm still trying to decide, but I'm gonna end this vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my rants and listening to me talk about books and watching me read books. I hope you've had a great couple of days, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!